is one of the main passionate assets I have and wake up to every single day for every client to accomplish. My success story is about my family. Each day that I wake up and go home to is my children and my husband and my life. We live a life by design, and we live a life of love. Our story is much more than a success story. I am Jackie Stevens with the Stevens Home Team.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Edgar here in El Paso. Welcome, everybody, to the Stevens Home Show podcast series. As we promised, we want to bring you guys something new every week, bring in different guests that are just going to be speaking about different topics, whether it be real estate, hear about our wonderful city in El Paso. And today I look forward to speaking with our special guest, as he's going to bring some very, very good answers to some questions that people have been having. And more importantly, I'm excited just to talk to him. I talk to him a lot, actually, but I am always thrilled to share those conversations with you guys, so you guys know what it is that we do from a back. Today, I am missing my other partner, so I'm going to have to just pretend she's right here and say, hi, Miss Jackie. She had an appointment that she needed to attend to this morning or this afternoon, so she'll be doing that. But here, guys, I do not want to waste any more time. I want to make this a strong one. If you guys have any questions, concerns, want to get some more information, want to go ahead and subscribe to our show, ask the questions live, and I want to be able to address those here for you guys. But today, I do have a special guest. I'm going to bring in no other than Mr. Thomas Folden with Royalty here with Real Broker, which he's one of our business partners, handles residential, commercial, you name it. And here, I'm not going to delay this any further. There we go. Hey, Tom, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. How are you, sir?
I can't complain. You know, it's Wednesday. We're alive. We have a day for a great opportunity, and we have a good one here today. Just simply to bring you on board, share some good insight of the market, just being able to share different things to help not only agents. I think it's also a good opportunity to give some not credibility, but also give some great, strong energy to buyers and sellers right now that are asking the same question, right? So yeah. I think it's a good thing to do, and we'll have that conversation, man. Don't want to be all formal. Let's be us, and let's have some fun today, right?
Yeah, authentically you. Speaking of that, man, I love the intro, man. You guys are a wholesome family. Yvonne and I have been watching you guys, for a long time, since we started the real estate industry. And we love everything that you guys are doing over there. And that intro just speaks to who you are and the community that you're bringing to El Paso. And it's one of the reasons that I decided to join Real, is to be around you. So you say you like talking to me. I love talking to y'all, man.
No, thanks, man. It's funny because every time we go on, Jackie always says it always gets me. I want to like almost cry every single time, and I give her a hard time because, but when you do see it, it's really cool because it's us. It's not us being a artificial family there, and I give kudos to her because she had the vision a long time ago. And she believed in each and every one of us, including myself, to be her partner, not only, business wise, but lifetime. I don't know why she chose that, but I'm blessed and I'm grateful and thankful for that, man. So thank you for the words. And I'm glad that, and I say you and Yvonne doing the same thing for our community, ourselves. And like I always tell people, man, it's not about, us joining each other. Is just that collaboration and that family and that culture that we're building together, man. I like to do it. And so thank you for that, buddy.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Good to be around you.
No, good stuff, man. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and dive right into it. I think it's, there's a lot of questions that's going on, with the market. How is it going? How is it doing? And I'm intrigued because people always ask me this question. I have my way of answering it. It could be, I'm like, well, what day is it? Monday is going to be one day. Wednesday might just be a little different, right? But if you can share with us, Thomas, what are some of the things that you see when people ask you that question, right? Like, how's the market? How's it going? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my first answer to that is always, well, what part of real estate are you into? Because it's different for if you're talking residential, if you're talking commercial real estate, if you're talking property management, are you an investor? Are you flipping homes? Like there's a different market for each one of those different aspects. But speaking plainly about, what the majority of people are looking at is the residential real estate market. And so what I've noticed recently is I think there's a lot of uh, just people being nervous and scared and not really understanding what's going on with the market. Of course, we hear all of the craziness about interest rates. So, like the end of last year, coming into this year, was a really poor time for interest rates. And then fluctuations between the interest rate and the financial market. So, you hear, hey, Fed's going to cut the rates. Well, what does that mean? And so, for everybody, unless they're tuned in and listen to you guys, then they're not really going to understand what that means for them specifically. Like you could even go to the national average of interest rates and say, well, what is my interest rates going to be? And that doesn't mean that's going to be yours, because it's going to be based on credit, income, and assets. That's you individually. So even though I can look at the rates and say, hey, here's the national average, I still need to know, what does that mean for me? So
Correct.
so I think that causes people to be concerned, slow moving, not moving, just stalled. And so there's some of that that's going on in the market. And I think um, what it does is it creates this unique opportunity for those that are ready. Okay. So the buyers, the people who are looking to purchase a home in 2024, 2025, you have a unique ability to get out there and go shopping. You're getting all your realtors like 100% attention, and they can find you an opportunity that you can capitalize on, because there's not as many people shopping right now.
Yeah, no, and that's the tricky part, right? Because and again, I think it's very important. You nailed it when you talk about who are you talking to, right? Because the seller conversation is going to be a little bit different from a buyer's conversation at this point. So if you do have a buyers right now, what are some? And we'll talk about right now the exciting thing that you got going with your team, right? Because you're not only are you following it, but you've been able to add some members to your team. And what are you teaching to your team right now when you're talking to buyers? What are some of the things that you can share with us here on this call that you feel is separating you from the rest and allowing you to have those opportunities right now with buyers? Because you guys are closing buyers right now, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so for my agents, what we teach is basically exist in your natural networks. So the way I run my business is being around people who already love me. So instead of and people make their business by calling and doing cold calls and doing all those things, and there's definitely a market for that. um, it's really foreign to me, and it's something I really want to get better. But the way I've been successful is existing in my natural network. So whether it's, if you have a church group, or if you're a part of a teachers group, or even a homeschool group, or just a group of friends, sewing circles, those types of things. If you're existing in your natural networks, people are going to automatically know what you do. And I'll give you an idea, because I have a little show and tell that I'll do here as well. So if you're existing in your natural networks, you can have one of these to go on your car.
I like
So
that. Yeah.
so, you're not going to these natural networks to sell to the people that are there. But if you are always marketing your business, when you show up to something, people are going to see that. They're going to associate that with you. And then they're going to call you because you're top of mind. If you go to your natural network all the time, they're going to be reaching out to you. So the natural networks is huge. So we have a nurse on our team, we have a teacher on our team. We have somebody with another business, so they exist in those natural networks, and that's why they are successful, because they're focusing on the
Big
people
difference.
that already love them. Yeah,
Mhm.
and so when you make those phone calls, it's like you and me talking. It's a friendly conversation. I don't have to have the trouble of building rapport, finding out if this person is into the market for my business or service. And so it's a lot easier of a conversation, and those are fun transactions to be a part of, and they mostly close. So if you're trying to
Absolutely.
be efficient, I would say exist in your natural networks.
And I think that's so key, right? Because especially in today's market, right? Because I always tell people, I kind of create. Everybody thinks it was Jackie just handing me off leads and stuff like that, and hey, go take care of these guys, and you're in good hands, right? And I wish that was the case, but this is a show for, or that's a show for a topic for a different show at a later time. But one of the things that I always took pride in was literally, beating up the phones. That was a big thing for me. I needed to come in here every morning and get on the phone and just make phone call after phone call after phone call. And that's kind of the way it was going for many, many years. Things have changed. There's different things that you got to be doing. And I like that you say you got to find, and I tell this to all new agents that come in here and say that, hey, when can I get a few minutes just to talk to you? I want to become a real estate agent. I want to do this. Where to start? I go, well, how strong are your channels, right? What do you feel like if you had to break down a channel, who is your expertise with, right? Like, who are your friends? Like, if it's, and it's really cool that you didn't go to all these high professional stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have a group of lawyer or attorney friends that you want to, I mean, that's a great group to be a part of. Go find out what moves them, what drives them, and get involved with them, and how you can funnel business back and forth. But it could just be simply, and we have some on our team, right? If she's on here, Erica, when she first came on, and she's like, hey, who can be a target? I said, shoot, what do you do? She goes, I'm a baseball mom. My kids play baseball and they're little. And I said, man, how cool is that? That's one thing me and Jackie regret. All our kids played soccer and all that good stuff, but I don't feel like we took quite full advantage of that opportunity. Even as simply as taking like waters and stuff like that with your name on it, and just to be like, hey, I'm here with you guys anyway. We're a family. I'm going to offer you water anyway. Why not just tell you who it's coming from? And it leads to a conversation, right? It may not be, and not that you want to be selling to everybody that way, because I don't want it to come away where it's not genuine. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's just branding yourself, right? So I think it's key. I like the fact that you building your team with different things. There's not a right formula for anything, and that's why I'm excited to share with you. To ask you for you to share some of the things. And I like the fact that you say I have a teacher, I have a nurse, I have, you have a strong military background as well, which I love, because thank you for all those that do serve. Appreciate the service that you guys provide for us. And I like having those conversations, because I said I like calling you and be like, hey man, from this perspective or this angle, fill me in on this, and you can give me that insight, and it's important. So if you're listening out there, don't know. Find a channel that you feel comfortable with, right? What you're sharing with us, Tom, and really exploit that to the best of your ability, and make things warmer versus always a cold call. And we're not everybody wants to be hit up on right now, because it's out there.
You touched on a point before you move on. You touched on a point where you'll call me, I'll call you, and we'll bounce ideas off of each other. That's so important, man. When I first started off, I was fortunate to have a couple of people that I could pick up the phone and call. And even if it was just to bounce a crazy idea off of them, like, hey, what do you think about me doing this thing? And or there's this transaction that we're working on. This is what I was thinking about in a counter, an amendment or something,
Right.
And you bounce those ideas, man. Every time that you're talking to other real estate agents, that you're gaining knowledge, you're gaining efficiency in speaking about it. So the more you talk about it, the more fluent that you get in the language. And so I think that's so important. Anytime that you're talking to another real estate agent, you are building your vocabulary for when you're talking to clients, and that's really important.
No, absolutely, man. I think we always stress it, right? It's a hard thing to do. We even have some people that have come on and joined us, and you can still see it almost feels like a divorce, right? They're kind of afraid to get back into that next relationship, right? They're like, I don't want to give up all my nuggets and feel like I've been cheated out. And it's kind of funny, but we have a great group. I like what we're building here in El Paso with a bunch of different individuals. I think we're all different. That's what I really like. But we're all really open to being able to share, bounce back ideas. And I agree with you 100%. It is so important to do that. And so if you're hearing out there, that's a great nugget out there. So right now, everybody, with the market changing, we had, NAR situation where new bylaws or laws, whatever you want to call them, regulations applied to our industry throughout the entire nation, that has made it challenging in its own self. If you're not educated about the whole situation, again, being able to have that conversation with your clients and letting them know how it really is and so forth. And how is it that you're still being able to overcome those challenges? And how do you feel? What do you credit it to? Is there anything specific that you and your team are doing to keep you above ground moving forward?
Well, I'll say I'm not 100% fluent in it. What I am thankful for is that I'm a part of a brokerage that has educated us, positioned us, and given us tools to be successful. I think, probably for the first year of us all existing in this new real estate market with the different compensation agreements that we're going to have to do, it's going to be confusing. But our brokerage has given us training on the forums, given us ideas on how we can present ourselves to our clients and be able to showcase our value. So where it used to be very important to have a listing presentation, I think it's equally important to now have a buyer representation presentation so that you can explain your value to your buyers. And so we always start from that point, is to educate our clients about what we do, how we add value, and and then work towards getting them into the deals. But Real Broker is the one that filled us with the vocabulary, and that's the biggest thing. And I think it does. So it's just like the buyers are stalled right now. You have agents who are sitting around just wondering, man, I really just, I'm not sure. I don't know what's supposed to happen. I don't know exactly what forms I'm supposed to be filling out. I'm not sure how to have that conversation. And these could be agents that are in a brokerage and maybe they're not the high producer, but they're not getting the attention, and so they feel lost. And that's the trouble, and that's what I've been seeing. And for some of those are the agents that have come over to sit with me at Royalty Realty, joining me, and they're already closing deals because you give them that confidence, because right now, previous to me, they had no confidence. And realistically, you focus on just a couple of things and take the leash off, man, they're out crushing it. And I probably have this much to do with it. Yeah, I provided the confidence, and they're just out there existing in their natural networks, and they're closing deals.
Man, and and it's noticeable. And I say it in a good way, and you just see it. You see their excitement, their involvement. And I remember them being I would call it the three amigos, right? Just having their own little corner. They come in at different times. Yeah. They ask questions. Hey, I'm so and so. But I was, but always willing to help, right? And that's the thing. The other big thing that people miss right now, guys, there's opportunity in front of you all day long. If you want to add any additional, I don't care if it's because you didn't get along with this person or you're having that issue or whatever. As a brokerage, come together, right? There's opportunity for you there, whether it is, and I say this because your girls will reach out to you, will reach out to me and say, hey, is there any way that I can sit down at this home and do an open house for you? And I think that's key and that's important, and because they not only want to just do it to check an item off their list, right? We call it money making activities, right? Which open house should be a big one in today's world. But they actually want to do the pre-work, right? Whether it be, we're going to go pass out flyers, we're going to go introduce the home to the neighborhood. Then Saturday is going to come, or Sunday, whenever they're going to host. They've been very, very involved. And again, it starts with the leader, man. I know you said you probably had this much to do with it. I'm going to call, BS for what that is. It's the foundation. It's the cheerleading behind it, is knowing that if I get stuck at any point, I'm here, and you celebrate all the wins, man. I don't care if it's a lease. I don't care if it's my first listing appointment and I didn't get it, but I had the courage, I had the energy and the confidence to get in there and say, I'm going to just go take on this appointment because Thomas told me I can do it and I should be doing it. And guess what? I'm doing it. So kudos to you there, man, because right now, and that's where I was getting at, in this market, I've seen a lot of agents fall out, or they're starting to. They're losing some of that confidence. they're switching to different brokerage here to there, or this and that. And really what they need to be doing is just having a real conversation and figuring out what is it that I'm missing in my business.
Yeah.
That I should be really talking to somebody who can connect the dots here with me and see what it is. And it's an amazing thing. So kudos to you there. I want to take lead, and I always ask. I said, "What are you doing, man?" Because you're building your team the right way. You know, you're building it organically. It's not like you just went and brought a whole group of 30 people and say, "Hey, join my group."
Yeah.
No, you're bringing people. They're seeing the continuous, and I know that now you're not the only male on the team anymore, right? You added someone else too. So kudos there, man. Thank you for sharing that. Now, to get a little bit more specific on the things that you're doing, I know you shared you're going to what are some of the networking groups that you're a part of that you can maybe make a suggestion to a brand new agent hitting the market, or somebody who is stuck that's looking to maybe pick up some momentum somewhere else?
Yeah, so I'd say I keep myself pretty busy because I'm focused on those types of networks. I don't make all the phone calls types of way to grow my business. So this is where my business may differ from yours and some people on the team, because for me it's foreign to be able to make that call. And to be honest, I'm scared to death of doing it. And so our personalities are very similar, but for me, I'm terrified of getting on the phone and calling somebody I don't know and trying to do that. For me, Business Network International, BNI, that has been a huge bonus to my business. I started that probably 4 years, a little bit over 4 years ago. And it helped give me contacts of people that are in and around my industry, so that if my clients needed something, I knew I would have somebody to recommend. And they have the same thing in me. So if they have somebody that is interested in buying or selling a house, then of course they know they can call me. This year we did some cool stuff. So I'm the title sponsor for the Coldest Zone podcast. So that one is sponsored by your buddy Ed Stansbury, both our friends. So really, really cool. So what they do is they broadcast all the high school football games here in El Paso. They talk about top players and predictions and all these things. And this year they also added a few of the UTEP games to their list. Aside with that, I simultaneously became the Coronado Booster Club sponsor, and so I have another show and tell that
I love it.
do. So I'm a sponsor for the podcast, and I'm a sponsor for the Coronado High School football team. Banner inside the gym and things like that, and then the cheerleaders throw my footballs out when they score touchdowns.
Look at that.
So, I throw it into the stand. It's really cool to have, and I'm a real big proponent of the marketing and branding materials. I have all kinds of stuff that I've worked on, and unique things that people won't throw away, and that's how you can stay top of mind in an economical way. People aren't going to throw this type of stuff. I mean, they're going to throw it, but they're not going to throw it away until my kid takes a bite out of it. We've done different things like a scarf for soccer match. We sponsored a big soccer match and had 100 people coming out there. So that was pretty cool. We also have sponsored playing cards. So these ones have all the the contact information and stuff like that on it, and then they're also customized, so they look pretty, for me, badass. I think that's also something to say too. If you want to get noticed, grow an ugly beard, and then people are going to recognize you.
So you know what? I'm giving a new thing. So I've been using Just for Men for the last 5 years. I just, man, it's wearing out. I think I'm going to start just really embracing this, the whiteness and so it's funny because this morning I'm going through some, I don't like to spend too much time on the reels and stuff like that, but I like to see different ideas for content and whatnot. And I came across one, and it's really cool. I sent it to Jackie because it says the wife, I think, says something about how are you getting all this white hair now? And then the guy starts singing, right? It's like some R&B singer comes out and says, you start thinking it's because of you. So it's because of Jackie that this is happening. But so Jackie, I hope you're listening to that. That's what it is. But anyway, no. Back to, I mean, how cool is that? You literally, and we're big on brand. Brand is huge. I think that got to stick out. I'm actually a little jelly. I was gonna say, because me and Ed go back to like 4th, 5th grade, and he keeps telling me I'm Stansbury certified. I don't got a shirt. I don't got a hat. Man, I haven't even been on the show yet. You know what I mean? So I'm like, come on, Ed. We can talk this. Some of those predictions that you guys are putting together are horrible anyway. But
so last year I was the sponsor also, and if you go back and listen to that first episode where they had me on, they gave me like 5 or 6 questions, and in the intro they go, all right, so that Edgar is our friend, and we played football in high school coming up with him. Got a question for you: if you and Edgar had an arm wrestling match, who would win? And I was like, I'll take it down.
That's Tom all day.
even if I wasn't gonna win, I'm gonna say I'm winning. I'm winning that match every day. But it was, it's cool, and they love you as well, and so it's all love all the way across the room there.
Yeah, I know those guys they're doing some amazing things, and again, man, you gotta group up. Sometimes it's by association, and sometimes it's there's someone always bigger in the room. And I think it's a great segue where you got to remember that one person knows somebody that you don't. And it just takes one conversation. Hey, who's your real estate guy? Who is your insurance guy with Ed? There you go, Jackie. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's saying, no, you're not. Okay. But anyway, so it's good to have those groups. Not everybody's going to have them, but everybody does have some type of variety with somebody. And, whether it's at church, whether it's a hospital, my background before, like I've always told people, and it's one that I really don't take full advantage of, is, I used to work in the medical space. So I should have those conversations in those offices. There's a lot of people there that could use some help. I mean, they're experts at what they do when it comes to medical, but, may not necessarily know what's going on the, on our, in the real estate market and stuff like that, whether they want to buy, sell, or even invest. So those are all good tips.
But that's the thing about those places, though. If you're a part, like I've been a BNI for 4.5 years, and that's now one of my natural networks because they're like family to me. Those natural networks can be your gym buddies. It could just be your gym. If you're going in there working out and you have a shirt that has your business on it, people can start associating you with the business. And it's not like I'm going to the gym to sell to people, as like I'm looking for people as it's not like that. It's just making sure people are aware of what it is that you do, and if that opportunity comes up, then a conversation can be had, and that's where you're going to close deals. One thing I like also about Real is there's the ability to get connected through the workplace app and the chat. There are two groups through Real that I'm a part of that have been really, really good as far as, we get fed, whether it's from you guys or from the Texas division, and the Texas brokers are sending things out. I'm also a part of what's called the 10-7 project. So 10-7 is a cop term, out of service. So it's for people who were law enforcement and now they are out of service, and we're doing something else. Usually you do 10-7, like I'm just done for the day, and that's you clocking out basically. So it's called the 10-7 project. So it's former law enforcement who are now realtors, and there's a certain personality around them, and that's how they get connected. Same thing with the Real military division. And then following that up, we're all going to Vegas here in a week and a half or so. And
it's right around the corner, 21st, 24th, right?
So you have the ability to meet frequently. Like, technology is great, so you have instant access through workplace chat. It's basically Facebook for realtors in the Real Broker, and you can get connected to those groups. And if somebody from that group has somebody coming into town, they'll look for their trusted person in that area. And I'm one of the only people in El Paso that is a real estate agent that is also in the 10-7 and also military. So I will get the phone calls.
Yeah, and what's really cool is there's so many different networks within who we are. I think we're up to like 35 agents now here in El Paso, which is great because it just keeps showing how we're continuously growing. And to me, that's exciting. I know there's more to come. There's some other realtors that have reached out here recently that want to do something big for El Paso. And El Paso deserves it. I think a lot of people don't quite know what real is. They think sometimes they're joining royalty or they're having to join the Jackie Stevens home team. They're having to join, somebody, and it's not. It's a network. We get to work together, and sometimes people just don't seem to want to be a part of that. But I can tell you that, and I've been saying this for the last year and a half: align yourself with the right people during these changes in the market. At least owe yourself that opportunity to hear the conversation. That's it.
Yeah.
And then from there, you can decide whether it's for you, it's not for you. It's this, it's that. You'd be surprised, man. And hopefully we've talked about it enough where, don't go chasing every single dollar and stuff like that, because it just doesn't get anywhere. Learn business, learn how to collaborate, share. And man, it grows from there 10 times more, man. And I love what you're saying there. As a matter of fact, it's funny because I think there was some referral that was being sent out on the workplace, and some of your buddies. I felt like no. But it felt weird because I felt like I was getting like I was getting ganged up, man. They were like, man, we're from the 10-7 group. We know Thomas Folden. We don't know you. And so it was pretty cool, right? But again, it goes to show you there's enough for everybody to go around. And I'm glad that you have that, man. So right now, you have what now? A little under a year with that you came over with Real?
I think December becomes the 1 full year.
For 1 year.
So we're almost there. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. And where do you see it going from here, man? Like if I had to ask you a question, I know I don't want to be like an interview where in 5 years, where do you see yourself? But like realistically, like where you, based on what you've been able to do and accomplish already here as you're approaching your year one, what would you like to see, from an individual standpoint as well as with your team? Because I know you're really, really focusing on that. And again, mentoring that group has been amazing. I'm seeing it, man.
Yeah. So the first thing I'll say is I'm trying to be like you. So, and you and I have talked about this before, and I said it in the beginning. I love everything that you guys are doing, and I've been modeling my business over time off of some of the things that you guys are doing. So the natural progression is, we're at 6 agents now, counting myself. So Royalty Realty has myself and 5 agents underneath. We do the full array of real estate services, and I think the next thing is getting that location, having a space where we can meet frequently, educate, and grow. So if you have the space, people will come, they'll get educated, you give them that confidence, and they'll go out and produce. So one of the things that I really like about Real is my ability to grow my business. And so prior to joining Real, it is everything done by me. So I'm limited to the amount of things that I can complete. Now with other agents, even if I'm tied up or like say next week and a half, when we're in Vegas, my business still runs. I have agents here. If somebody calls and they need some showings or whatever, I'll attach an agent to them, and they'll go out, close a deal, and I'll take care of them. And so it's been really cool to be able to do that and have them joining me on listing presentations or showings, commercial and residential, so they get that experience. And so I think that's the next piece, and then expanding to another city as well. So I love El Paso, and this is always going to be the base camp. But potential opportunity to maybe expand to Midland, Odessa, so this the Permian Basin Association of Realtors, and then maybe what a Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, something like that. I think the model is really easy to pick up, transplant, create, and have that blossom as well.
Hey, man, and man, it's like we're having that infomercial right now that you're sharing why you need to really consider this, because it's really what you just said in a nutshell. It allows you to be able to replicate and duplicate this somewhere else. We're growing, within our group, our organization that I don't even know if we want to call it an organization, but our entire group that we are working with, we are connected to 5 different places. And I try to tell that to you guys at all times. Like right now, as a matter of fact, for all my Florida people that we have out there, man, I'm praying, hoping everything just goes through, that storming as bad as predicted, and everybody can get through. But we have a big group out there right now. I want to say we're close to probably 60 agents just there in that area that we're connected to, that we can pick up a phone and be able to, refer somebody to any specific area. Florida is huge, just like Texas. There's different parts there. We're connected to Arizona. We're connected to even our neighbors here in Las Cruces, New Mexico area, which is exciting because it's something that, before, like even with us, with me and Jackie, we were like, man, we got business. And even though it's right here in Santa Teresa, it's focus that I can apply over to the rest here, to our people here in El Paso. So it's really a good thing. I think you're on to an amazing start, my friend. I always like to share and remind everybody, our town's first transaction in real estate happened with us on the other end. And who would have thought, years later, we'd be a part of the same group, sharing information back and forth. And I always tell people that Tom was willing to share, even though he was brand new to it. I remember at the time it was a different brokerage at the time. And we said, hey, you know what can you tell us a little bit about it? Like, well, there's not much I can tell you, but I can tell you that they have me. Yeah, I'll run you through it, and they have me aligned, talking like if I've been doing this here for 5 years, and we were very impressed. But a lot of it has to talk about the individual and the person that you are, because although you have all these great tools and you have all these things being shared with you and provided to you on a daily basis, it's up to you to make that you be able to use every tool that's in there, or at least pick up 2 or 3 and become a master with them. So that's awesome, man.
That's a crazy thing about Real is there's so many tools that you have access to, and I promise you, I'm scratching the surface about what this brokerage is capable of with their tools.
Yeah, no, it's it's funny because every time that we talk about it, or if you really like just dive into it late at night, you can't sleep or whatever, you go in there and you're like, oh man, I did not know we even had this group, or I didn't even know that I can find this and that here. Being able to go back to key and important, especially right now with all these changes, right? Because I tell people right now, we're on a swivel just as much as our clients are, because we have to provide them with the updated information and be careful with legalities and all that good stuff. But if you go back and you missed it, you can clearly go back on there. And I'm sure other brokerages, I'm not saying that they don't have those tools and whatever, but I just like ours being on that it's on steroids, basically. There's not an opportunity, or you shouldn't have a reason why you're not up to date on any of it, because you get it now nationally wise. They break it down to you in our Texas group. And I think we've done a good enough job here locally for our group here. For those that ever want to share, and I say that sincerely, I don't care what brokerage you're with. If you want to be a part of those, we usually do that the second Wednesday of every month. We meet. We're not here trying to bring you on or nothing like that. It's just to provide some collaboration, maybe some information that you're currently not, or you are getting, or maybe you want to share some information with us. We're open to that as well. So you guys are always open to doing that. But yeah, man, any other tips, stuff that you would like to share, Tom, here on this? I don't want to hold you hostage for the rest of your day. I know you're a busy man, but I definitely wanted to get you on here. One, I'm super excited and grateful to be in partnership with you, man. I really am. I think we bring a lot of good things to each other, and I want to see that continue. But right now, for other people out there, if there's 2 things that you would like to challenge them, maybe, or that you want to just provide them with some wisdom, advice, and maybe just a motivational tip, what do you got?
Yeah, so I'll say the first thing is make the phone call. So don't send text messages. If you're calling a customer, client, or potential, whatever, pick up the phone and call them. The impact is way better than a text message. And then the only other thing I'll say is just focus on the basics. You don't have to do anything wild, extravagant, or whatever. Hold open houses, pass out flyers, share your business, and you will be successful. But be consistent.
There you go, man. Consistency has always been my favorite word. I had a coach that had for, hey, man, I don't see, he was talking to me about my son. I haven't seen JJ with this pop and this and that. I said, look, man, your motivational speeches on that can go so long. You got to just continue to build them and make them be consistent. You have to, and I always said to him, I go, look, Jay, you have to be consistent in whatever you're doing, man. And if you do that, then good things are going to come. If you feeling you just got to wake up in September and be motivated in September, or wake up and be motivated in December, that's not going to fly. It sounds good. You might do it for a week or two, but you just got to be consistent. And these are, it's been a challenge. I'll say that in our real estate market, just because there's so many things that have been thrown our way. But I like the fact, and you can see it, man, that you're being consistent, your team's being consistent. You're allowing us to be consistent and providing any tips that we can. And so thank you for jumping on this week's episode. And we want to, continue to do that. Guys, if you guys liked anything, please like it. We want to be able to grow this podcast here for you guys, bring you guys different tips. If you guys have any other questions for Tom, guys, reach out to him. This guy will give you some good nuggets that you're like, oh, cool, I didn't even think about it that way. And he's as sincere as they come, man. He really is. Comes from a great background. He can give you a lot of good things, and and then he's always backed up by a great woman as well. Yvonne is awesome. And so thank you, bud. Keep posting the funny videos. Those things are funny to me, man. Jackie just tells me all the time, you need to step up your game. Why can't you do that? I'm like, man, I go, I don't know, Jack. I go, he's a little local for me, but no, thank you, buddy. I really do appreciate it. Okay.
Sounds good, man. Thank you so much for having me on, and we're following your lead too.
You got it, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. I'll be in touch, Tom, and that'll be our episode for this week, guys. We'll see you. Tune in next Wednesday as we have another exciting one for you as well. We'll talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Success is not always about money. It's about growing others, inspiring others, coaching others, and leading each individual to their goals in life. Homeownership is one of the main passionate assets I have and wake up to every single day for every client to accomplish. My success story is about my family. Each day that I wake up and go home to is my children and my husband and my life. We live a life by design, and we live a life of love. Our story is much more than a success story. I am Jackie Stevens with the Stevens Home Team.